Who's that that's joined me? Hello, Schultz. I'm just looking for something to put my phone up on. You can sharpen all cap. I know what I can do. Sorry, guys, just bear with me. Yeah, what's up, Godfather? So, me and Brandon from Rags to Riches are going to have a chat today. We're going to have a talk about crypto and the future of crypto and how people can sort of get involved and stuff like that. So feel free to stick around. He is a minor YouTube celebrity. So yeah, I'm glad to have him come join us. Let me shut that door. Right, I need something to put my phone up on. You can stop an all cap. You're annoying. Let me get that, dude. Just want to get in early, so I can make sure that I'm ready for him when he's ready. Ooh, dropping all my shit. All right, so that's my plinth sorted. Let me just fix myself an alcoholic beverage. That will do nicely. Bit of Tanqueray. Right, let me see if I can invite him. Where is he? There he's not there yet. I'll give him a minute. It'd be really helpful if you could smash the likes and get the likes up a little bit for me. That'd be amazing. You know what they say about idle fingers, etc. I'm not going to drink that neat because I'm not a savage. Got these nice little mixers at the minute. Sparkling fruity. Oh, there you go. Sparkling fruity water. It's pear and ginger flavour. Very nice. Oh baby. Alright, I'm just going to pause the stream for a second. I'm going to see if he's asking any questions in the Telegram because he hasn't gone live yet, so he might have a couple of questions. So let me just see what he's saying. Alright, I should be back. Yeah, there we go. Lovely. Yeah, what's up, Gardener guy? I've got someone coming to join us. We're going to talk crypto stuff. Just waiting for him to... Aha, there he is. You should have been right. Yes, my friend.
What's
how are you?
up, dude?
Yeah, let me turn you up a little bit. You're a little bit quiet. Yeah, cheers, dude. I really appreciate you coming to join me short notice. Really appreciate that, man.
Dude, that was short notice, man. I can't believe you had the audacity.
I know, right? The audacity to ask the Supreme Ayatollah to come help me out.
That's right, man. I'm the CEO, CFO, CWO, and the Supreme Ayatollah. That's right.
For those of you on my side that don't know who Brandon is, he runs a crypto community called Rags to Riches, and it's a real fun place and a real fun community to be a part of. There's some real characters. So when you join the Telegram, the first thing you have to do is to insult Pulsey. Those are the rules. You have to insult him, and I like that. I like that. That's a wicked little touch.
Dude, you got to, man. See, here's the thing. I view my Telegram group as like I view it as an algorithmic stablecoin.
Okay.
So here's how. We keep it at 777 members in Telegram. If it goes over, we got to sell off. If it goes under, we allowed to get back to 777. So, and we don't let everybody in. I mean, you got to pass the test to get in the damn place. That's for sure. Yeah, you can insult me. You can do whatever you want, Dark Goblin. I don't care.
Go for it.
I am. So I'm trying to learn. This is the first time I've been live on TikTok, bro.
Yeah. Welcome to TikTok Live, my friend. So I do a regular slot on a Thursday at 7:30 my time, which is, I don't know, whatever, depending on where you are in the States.
Where are you at?
I'm in London. England.
So I guess what 7:30? That's like 2 my time, 2 p.m.
Yeah. Okay. So I'll do a regular slot on a Thursday. I invite a different guest on each week. Some people with zero crypto knowledge, and other people who are crypto masters. And we just have a chat. We just talk crypto stuff to try, more aimed at the newbies and kind of explaining to them, sort of how they can get involved. I don't know if you've seen many of my videos already, but one of the things that I'm a big proponent of is dollar cost average. That's something that I'm trying to install in people, that not to bet the farm, because that's how you get wrecked. If you inject funds over time, then it's a winning strategy.
It is a winning strategy, and the big question is why? Why is it a winning strategy? And the reason is it protects you from yourself.
Yeah,
we are our own worst enemies, right? Mm-hmm. When it comes to that type of stuff, we're going to sell. We're impulsive beings. And we don't think long-term as human beings either. So very, very important. And if you can, set up auto payment too, so you don't even have to think about it. Just deposit that money in.
So I tend to put people in the direction of Coinbase. I'm not a big fan of their customer service, but I'm a big fan of the services they provide. And they can offer you that reoccurring payment. You can set up for payday, and it can take X amount of money. And how I try to explain it to people is use it as a savings, use it as an opportunity to increase your crypto holdings over time. That seems to be the way to do it. And with the dollar cost average, how I like to explain it to people is you're happy when the price goes up, and you're also happy when the price goes down. So my thinking is, let's say you make your first purchase and the price goes down. Well, you're happy because your next purchase is a discount. You can get more of those tokens for the same amount of money. On the flip side, if you buy your second purchase now and the price goes up, you're happy because you're making gains on what you've already purchased. That's how I like to explain it. I think that's quite an easy way for people to understand it.
Yeah, man, you got to remove the emotion out of it. You got to remove the thinking out of it. So all over crypto, the whole point of crypto right now is to take the money that's in your wallet and put it in their wallet. Mm-hmm. That's what's preached and that's what's taught. That's why you have so many people that are like in their mom's basement. They spent 15 or 20 minutes learning technical analysis on YouTube, and now all of a sudden they're pros. And then they make one or two good calls, which are pretty much like 50-50 shots, and then they blast out all over the internet and say, join my group. I could have made you
because I'm amazing. Yeah.
Because I'm amazing. But the truth of cryptocurrency is, here's the real truth. Real truth is most people, 95% of people, do not understand. They do not understand how to make money in this game. And I always ask people this. If you go to a financial advisor, is that financial advisor going to teach you how to day trade? No. He's not going to teach you. You're a working class person, right? They're going to say, hey, listen, set up auto pay. We're going to put it in this financial product in the stock market. In over 30 years, let's pray for a 7 to 10x.
Yeah.
That's how that works, but they don't go in there. They don't teach you how to set stop losses and limits and this and that. They don't teach you how to day trade, because they know that the failure rate for day trading is probably 95%. Even swing traders, it's not much better.
Yeah.
It takes an enormous amount of time and an enormous amount of money.
And
lost,
discipline.
Money lost.
And discipline as well, to stick to a system,
Yeah, man. Yeah. So it's like crypto is is it that movie Interstellar?
I love that.
They were like, it's like 1 year up here is equal to 7 years down here. And the meme is, we'll hodl here, buddy. So that's what we do. It's probably about a 1 to 7. 1 year in crypto is equal to 7 years in terms of volatility on the legacy markets, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's like a traditional marketplace, but just on super speed. Is how I see it as a market. I wanted to actually quickly address a question that I had from a friend of mine today.
Mm-hmm.
He said, "Oh, you're into crypto and stuff." He's never got into crypto before, never made a purchase or anything. He's like, "Is it a good time to buy now? Obviously, like everything's down and stuff." I'm going to make a video later on to respond to his question, because he's not the only one that's asked the same question. And my response will be: most people buy tops and they sell bottoms, and they realize losses by doing so. The market almost you almost need people to buy the top and sell the bottom. That's just how it works. But again, using that dollar cost average system. So let's say we were at 20k Bitcoin now, and someone wants to buy Bitcoin. Don't go all in. Phase your way in. So drip feed in. So if we go below 20k, there's an opportunity to buy more at a cheaper price. But again, if 20k or 19 whatever it was is the bottom, then guess what, you're buying that bottom territory. But either way, you will win, because for me there's the time element is the real winning factor. What is it? Time in the market is far more effective than timing the market. I think we both know you said that.
Yeah, no. And here's the thing too. You make a good point. Like, people are always, like I said, we're always very eccentric. We do these snap judgments on the fly that aren't based in logic, and people see that the market's tanking, so their natural reaction is, "Oh, I better go all in at this level." Well, what's the problem with that? The problem is when you zoom out and you see the macroeconomic environment of the world, you see that the Federal Reserve of the United States, and mind you, the US dollar makes up a massive portion of global reserves, and 122 countries adopt the US dollar as their own currency. Got to understand that the United States raising interest rates 75 basis points after saying that inflation was completely transitory in the past.
Well, we
Raising
all
at
knew that was a
75
lie.
basis points. Yeah, and then here's the thing, and then now they're saying, hey, we could do it next month too. And oh yeah, by the way, for the next 12 months, you can expect interest rate hikes to try to quell inflation. So how do we tie that all back? When the United States isn't printing money, a lot of times the markets crash. At least in the past 10 or 15 years, this is all fake. This is all it's a huge bubble right now, because the government has injected so much money into the private sector, and it has to do a natural correction. So I'm tying this all back to the DCA part by saying you need to decrease the frequency at which you DCA in bear markets like this, because this could go for 12 months or 24 months. So instead of doing every week, you might want to spread it out and do every 2 weeks or do every 3 weeks, because as we're going down, what you'll see sharp declines, and you'll see it flatten out. And you got to have enough steam to capture as much of the bottom as possible.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. But I don't think you need to catch the absolute bottom in order to succeed, because I think that patience will pay off. I know a few people that bought Bitcoin at the previous cycle 10k, and it went down to 6, and then they panicked and they sold, and then it went down to 3. And I was trying to say to people, look, 3 is a bargain. Like we may never see this sort of price again. And a couple of my friends did, and they're happy that they did, because even with this market drop, they're still well in profit. They're still pretty comfortable and happy with some of the advice I gave them at the time.
Yeah, man. I think it was, we're talking about US dollars here, I guess. What's the conversion rate now? Is it 20 or 30% more?
It's basically 1.2 or 0.8, depending on which way you go.
So if you had, and you guys deal with pounds, right?
Yeah.
So if you would dollar cost average about 500 or 550 British pounds, from, let's see here, from March of 2018 to March of 2021, 550 pounds a month, you would probably have about 175,000 pounds after that run up.
Yeah.
That's the power of dollar cost averaging that nobody talks about. And it's just, in all these other people, all these traders, they nuked their accounts. Yeah. They tried to get smart about it, and really they're doing the dumbest thing imaginable. They're making who's getting rich? The exchanges are getting rich because you're losing your money. Yeah. Not only when you're screwing yourself with leverage, but also you're getting chopped up with fees. There's not enough volatility to make it worth your time or effort.
Yeah, especially on Ethereum, the fees on Ethereum are just ridiculous, and I don't think ETH 2.0 is going to fix that problem. That's why I'm an early investor into Pulse Chain, because I believe that Pulse Chain is going to sort of capture some of that market for a lot of us that aren't big whales. We don't have big wallets to play with, but we want to be involved, and we want to be able to buy the tokens that we want to buy, without having to pay $70 to $200 to do a swap, and that puts you at a position now where if it was $100 position, you're paying $70 on the swap. You're already 70% down before you've even started. You need a 3-4x to start getting into profit territory.
Sure, it's true, man. So what's your story, man? What's your story with regards to cryptocurrency? Out of curiosity.
Yeah, so I'm an airdrop hunter. I don't know if I've lost you. I'll wait till your thing comes back. Yeah, there we go. Are you back?
Sorry, I'm back.
Yeah, cool. So I'm an airdrop hunter.
Yep.
I got the Uniswap airdrop twice. I got the 1-inch airdrop twice. I got the DYDX drop. I also got the Ample Fourth. I got the Hop protocol, which dropped the other day, and the Optimism drop as well. So I've gotten a lot of airdrops because I'm quite good at identifying the opportunities of where to waste some money in Ethereum fees to get something back out of it.
Yeah. So what's your strategy for that? Like, what do you do?
How do you find them? Yeah, I mean, there's lots of people that do a lot of the legwork for you, where they will sort of give you an idea of the type of projects that don't have a token right now and might drop a token in the future. So they may mention things like MetaMask, do some swaps inside MetaMask, because if they drop a token, there's a good chance you'll qualify. Zapper.fi, I quite like that website. It's a wallet explorer, and it will show you the balances across multiple different networks, and it shows you it all in one place. As long as the address is the same. And again, they've got swaps, they've got farming opportunities, they've got liquidity providing opportunities and stuff, in that sort of realm of farming and stuff like that. And it's kind of like a one-stop shop for a lot of sort of simple, ERC based type transactions. And they may well drop a token in the future.
Yeah. When did you get involved in crypto?
I got involved not long after the 20k top. I bought some at 16. I bought some at 10. Got some more at 6, and a little bit more at 3. I didn't have a lot of capital to deploy at 3. And that was mostly into Bitcoin and Ethereum. And then as I started learning more, I started to diversify into other things. I actually drew up a short list of projects that interested me. So 10 projects. I put $100 into each project as a speculative bet. Now, Hex was on that list, and I'm gutted that I didn't pull the trigger on that one, because that was the only one on the list that I didn't actually get round to doing, because I was waiting for a pullback that never came. So I kind of missed out at getting into Hex at a lower price. I have got some Hex now. I've got some Hex staked for a few years. I'm significantly down on that position, but I'm not too worried, because I understand how these market cycles work, and I understand the benefit of the time element that Hex provides. And I know that you're a big proponent of Hex as well.
Yeah. So I started my Telegram group probably, I don't know, maybe 6 months or a year prior to me getting into Hex. And it was one of those things where I was pretty reluctant to do it. I'd been talking to a bunch of my friends, and I thought I was a badass, and I thought I could send out all these signals and make everybody rich around me. And we got lucky when I was doing that, because we were doing it in a bull market. It's really hard not to make money in a bull market as long as you're not using leverage.
Yeah.
So, once I stumbled across Hex, there's a long story with that, but it just encompassed everything that I was also trying to instill in my folks, which was, if you are going to play with speculative tokens or speculative coins, just make sure that's a very small amount of your portfolio.
Yeah.
Because with small amounts of your portfolio, you can make extremely outsized returns. but I encourage people not to trade, and I encourage people to look at time horizons where 2 to 4 years instead of 2 to 4 weeks. And Hex it's the delayed gratification portion of it, the yield portion of it. I was a Bitcoin miner previously, so I was like, wow, I don't have to buy all these expensive machines, and all I have to do is stake. And by staking, I'm rewarded. Instead of securing the network, I'm rewarded for propping up the network with my stakes and supporting the price. And I said, well, this is brilliant. This is awesome. So all the good things about holding and all the good things about not trading and being able to stake my tokens to beat the inflation of 3.69%, it was a marriage for me. I loved it, and I got everybody in my Telegram group on board.
What sort of price was Hex at the time when you were sort of getting yourself and talking about it a lot?
Yeah, so Hex was at, I guess, June of 20, maybe no, a little bit before. Hex was between 5 cents and 7.5 cents when I got in. So I'm so thankful right now for what's been happening with price, man.
Yeah,
because
gives an opportunity to get some more in. I bought a couple $100 more at the sort of 3 cent level. I think it was 3.12 or something. So I feel like I got in at a decent price there.
Yeah, man, it's just massive opportunity now for everybody, dude. You can just put a bunch of coins on a dartboard and throw a dart and hit it and invest money in it, and you're going to make money. Now, that's not the best way to do it.
Of course not.
But everything's on fire sale right now.
Yeah, and that's how I've been explaining it to my friends. That the friend that texted me earlier on today, he was asking, is it a good time to get into crypto and blah 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 blah. And I said, well, everything's on discount, so you can, like you said, you can pretty much throw a dart at a board and just pick a coin, and it'll it'll give you some sort of return. But like I said to you, my main Hex position, I'm significantly down, but I've brought that a little bit closer by dollar cost averaging. So the majority of my stakes happened at around about 30 cents, and that was on the way up. And then I bought some more at 22. I bought some more at 10 when it looked like it was finding support, and I bought some more the other day at 3 as well. But I didn't need to inject as much capital to get the same amount of tokens that I did at 10. So I kind of feel like I've done quite well with the DCA strategy on Hex, on buying it on the way down. To average out my break even point, as it were, as a price point.
Yeah, you're decreasing your average buy-in price every single time that you purchase under what you purchased originally.
Exactly,
which is great. A lot of people don't understand this about Hex, but Hex was originally slated to be Bitcoin Hex.
Yes,
it was slated to be.
And people didn't like that.
A replacement.
People didn't like that. Because it was like Bitcoin Cash, it's just they're just using the name for clout. They're just using it to gain more traction or get more eyeballs or get more interest or whatever. But in all fairness, I don't believe that it needed the Bitcoin prefix. I think that once you actually look at Hex and you understand how it works and the delayed gratification and the locking mechanism that it provides, once you get that, it's a no-brainer. It's an absolute no-brainer, and you can look at previous price performance as well. That 10,000x, 12,000x kind of price performance. You can look at that, but that's not necessarily what I'm looking at when I'm investing in something. My thought process changed last year, where I stopped looking at crypto as a get-rich scheme. I started, or so I say, get rich quick scheme, because crypto is not a get rich quick scheme. For me, crypto is a get rich for sure scheme. Now, I changed my time horizon from day to day to decades. So I'm now looking at things, to invest in. Is this token still going to be relevant in 5 to 10 years time? If the answer is yes, then there's probably a good investment opportunity there, regardless of the price now. You know, you can chart some stuff out, you can look at all that sort of stuff, but if you don't really know about that sort of thing, you can take that other kind of approach to get into things that will, you know, will look good in 5 to 10 years time. So my sort of investment structure is very much based on what's it going to look like in 5-10 years time. You know, is it going to still be relevant? Does it have a product market fit? You know, things like certified deposits on the blockchain, or things like interoperable swaps between different blockchains and things like that. You know, things like quant are quite interesting to me. You know, things that have a future, because you see these things like Dogecoin and stuff doing really well. But in my opinion, things like those Dogecoin and Baby Doge and that sort of thing, they have no intrinsic value. They only have value because someone's willing to pay more for it. And I don't see things like Dogecoin and those sort of tokens, you know, SafeMoon and that sort of stuff. Not interested. I'm not interested in that sort of stuff because they don't have a product market fit. They're not solving, you know, they're not solving a problem or doing something in a clever way, and they may well not be around in 5-10 years time. Therefore, I'm not interested.
Yeah, you know, I used to be one of those people that would hop into Twitter Spaces, or I'd hijack somebody's Twitter thread, and I'd say, "Oh, you're a freaking idiot for investing in this or investing in that." But when it boils down to it, it's all about knowledge. It's all about understanding, right?
Yeah.
And I think your job and my job is to teach people in cryptocurrency what the real purpose of this is. When you see what's going around the world right now globally in terms of inflation with all the Western countries, it's like you're putting your money in a savings account and you're getting bled dry.
Yeah,
right?
you're almost being robbed from inside the bank account.
No, you are being robbed. So not only are you being robbed by inflation, and for some of you guys, you might not know what inflation is. It's essentially when the price of goods increase, and specifically due to the fact that the government is increasing the money supplies.
That's the key factor.
The government increases? Yeah, it's government increases money supply, and then people take that money and they go buy up the goods. Well, that causes scarcity and it causes prices to go up. The problem is it's artificial, right? So, you know, the cryptocurrency, when you understand the big picture of we need an alternative to the legacy system that we're in, that we are getting completely destroyed by. So
yeah,
you've got taxes too. Look at the taxes. You're taxed in the States. I don't know how it is in the UK, but you're taxed on income, right?
Yep.
You're taxed on investment gains, and sometimes the tax rate's 30 to 60%. And not only that, just to go to the store to have the right to use your money, you're taxed on the purchase of goods, excise checks, and by the way, when your parents die or you die, you guys get death tax over here, and it's just like, when does it stop?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is our pushback, man. This is our alternative.
Yeah. So once I started researching things like the global banking system, fractional reserve banking, etc., I could see how broken the system was. Now, I don't want to be a part of that system. I want to be outside that system. Hence, why I'm in crypto, because it's outside of the classic monetary system, and that suits me.
Yeah, it's an evolution, right? So it's a learning process. You get into crypto because you think you're going to be rich, and you think you're really, really, really smart because you look at a chart and you're like, wait a minute, all I got to do is buy low and sell high. That's it. Oh, this is easy. I'm going to get friggin' rich. And then you lose all your money. Mm-hmm. And then at that point, people split off. Some people leave and never come back.
Sure.
Some people get motivated to learn and say, wait a minute, I screwed up. Let's try it again. Some people are kind of a hybrid in between. They leave and come back a couple years later during the next bull market when that opportunity
price is already high.
Yeah,
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So once you go through that, then you're like, wait a minute. Then you start getting curious. You start listening to people that understand how economics works globally. And you say, well, cryptocurrency is the antithesis of what we have in the legacy finance system right now. Everything is public, right? Things are coded. Well, what's important about things being coded? When you look at central banks and fractional reserve and all that, it's based on the opinion of a very small amount of men or women. Mm-hmm. And you pray that the guy before the other guy, the next guy's smarter. You pray that he's smarter, because if he's not, the economy gets screwed. Well, what's the juxtaposition between that and cryptocurrency? We have code, we can look at it, and it's predictable. People do business based on things that are predictable.
Yeah, and it's immutable.
Cryptocurrency is predictable. Yeah. So that's the big thing, man. It's trustless. It doesn't involve a human being.
Yeah. That's the big factor for me is the trustless element, and also the fact that no one can stop me from sending Brandon 1 Bitcoin. No one can turn around and say, "Oh no, you can't send that to Brandon because we don't like him, we don't trust him." And that's for me the freedom that blockchain provides, is the ability to be able to exchange wealth from place to place without a third party telling you no. Let's say you want to cross borders. Let's say I want to emigrate to I don't know, Indonesia or something, right? I can't fill a suitcase full of gold bars. I can't fill it up with a suitcase full of cash. I might be able to sort something out with the bank, but then I'm relying on the bank to uphold their side of the bargain. If I carry it in a wallet, then I can essentially carry it in my mind. Like my passphrase, I created a story from my passphrase for my wallets, and what that allows me to do is to take it with me no matter where I am. I have access to my crypto because I can recite the story back to myself and gain my seed phrase from that. And no one can take that. No one can take that from you.
You notice how they're slowly starting to stigmatize people making private transactions. The next big iteration is going to be the CBDC.
Yep.
They want to go to a cashless society. Why? Because when you use cash, it's private, and they don't like that.
There's a phrase that fits quite well: control the money, control the people.
Bingo. Now it's even scarier because they're hijacking blockchain. And they're taking the information from blockchain and they're creating a digital currency that's going to be programmable, which for some of the folks in the chat here, what that means is, let's say that the government is really, really keen on keeping you away from gasoline, right? If you use their digital currency to purchase gasoline, they can automatically program a 30% tax on every dollar or every pound that you use at the gas pump.
If you're a particular person.
Oh, yeah.
And they could have exemptions to that rule.
Yeah, dude. And it's like, oh, by the way, they can freeze your bank account. Poop, with the push of a button. That's it. That's all they got to do. Centralized. This is what it's all about. They can see where the money's flowing. There are no, and people, they're normalizing this. And you see the political parties saying, well, what do you have to hide? Why don't you want to adopt this? You know, that's the mind trick that they give you. But there was a time in Western history, in the UK, in the States, and in Canada, and in other Anglo-Western countries, where privacy and sovereignty was tops. But that's not the case anymore. They're slowly conditioning people to suck off the government tit, man, and it sucks. It hurts.
Yeah, and it's the same everywhere. It doesn't matter what country you're in. You know, you're getting shafted no matter where you are. I've got a friend in India, for example, and you know their taxation system on crypto is you get taxed on every transaction. So if you have a transaction that you, let's say a leverage position, you get liquidated on, you still owe the tax on the original amount that you put forward, and that sucks.
It's basically a shadow ban. It's a shadow ban.
Yeah. It is.
It's shadow banning cryptocurrency.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and obviously, you know, trading is difficult. From my experience, trading is difficult, and you know, if you have to take that additional factor, you know, in mind when you're making these decisions to take out a leverage position. You know, you every time you make a mistake, you get taxed. Every time you do well, you get taxed. Where in the UK, you know, you can use your losses to counteract some of the tax that's due on your gains. And that I believe that's the right way to do it. You know, to tax you on both sides, it kind of sucks, man.
It's horrible, dude. It's nightmarish. We hate it. And we're having to deal with it. But here's the cool thing. We have an alternative now. And the quicker that we can educate people about the nightmares and the horrors of what has happened in the past when government gets so closely intertwined with finance, the quicker we can teach people these things, the better, man.
Yeah,
So
and that's what I'm
yeah,
here for. I'm trying to. I mean, have a quick look at my channel once we're done here. I'm trying to help people that have zero knowledge in crypto, and what they can, what they can do to get involved in this new world that's being created. And it's all of, none of it is to do with me taking anyone's funds and making money with it. It's all about taking ownership of your own stuff. So I'm a big proponent of things like ledgers and MetaMask and taking ownership of your tokens, rather than having it on an exchange, because an exchange is no different from a bank. It's all based on a promise, and we don't know whether that promise can be upheld. We promise to give you your Bitcoin when you ask for it. We promise to give you your US dollars, your pound coins when you ask for it. But there's no guarantees. There's no guarantees that they'll uphold that side of the bargain. But if you take ownership of your crypto yourself in a self-custody wallet, not only do you benefit from all of your ERCs being copied when a particular project launches in not so distant future, but you also it's unconfiscatable, and no one can tell you no. No one can say you can't do that. You can't hold this. You can't send this to here. You can't interact with this contract. And I like that. I like the freedom that it provides in that regard. And I'm trying to help people to see the light, and to get away from the traditional banking system and look at alternative systems like blockchain as an alternative to the current system that we're all a part of.
absolutely, man.
But your feedback on my stuff would be massively appreciated. Any feedback you've got on my videos and stuff would be great, because you're a content creator. Yeah, you're a content creator, obviously. You've been around for a little while, but yeah, have a look, and be critical if you have to be. But yeah, I'd be well up for some feedback on what you think on the content I've created so
Dude,
far.
I'm glad that I'm proud of you for taking your own bags in your own hands and putting yourself out there and working, man. And you got to grind for a long time, and you're not going to see results. But all of a sudden, you're going to wake up one day and you're where you want to be. That's how
Yeah.
I feel about my channel. I'm going to wake up one day where I'm going to want to be. You're going to feel that way too. But you got to put the work in, and you're pumping your bags. You're doing something that most people do not do. So big ups to you, man.
Well, I've spent a lot of time researching.
Yep.
My job allows me a lot of downtime during the day because it's very reactionary. So I use that time to learn. I use that time to look at these different projects and where these airdrop potential things are and that sort of thing. And I'm just trying to partake some of that knowledge onto other people, because I've got all this knowledge up here, and what's the point if it's all inside here? It doesn't help anyone. So I'm just trying to get it out there. I'm just trying to try my best that I can to try and make it as simple and as easy for people to understand as possible. And I hope that's what I'm achieving is trying to take complex ideas and making it simple. Like I explained soft and hard forks in about 2.5 minutes, and I think that was quite a good video.
Cool. Now, are you talking most of your content's on TikTok here?
Most of my content's on TikTok here, yeah. And I re-upload to YouTube, and on your recommendation, I started using Twitter and posting on the videos on there too.
Outstanding, man. Well, that is really cool, man. That is really cool. And here's the neat thing. If you're on the fence out there about content creation, you got to understand that right now is the best time to get into it, because when the bull market kicks back in, and that might be in a year, it might be in 2 years, it might be in 3 years, we don't know. There's going to be so many people that are piling into TikTok and YouTube and Twitter and Instagram to get alpha on how to do cryptocurrency responsibly and properly.
Yeah.
And for influencers and for people who want to create content, you're building the foundation now, and you're going to see the fruits of your labor eventually. So you're going to grow, man. You're going to grow quick.
Yeah, I just need to be more. I just need to be more proactive with creating content, even if it's non-crypto related, just for the sake of putting a video out. Because as you well know, the algorithms like it when you are a consistent content creator, whether that be daily or every other day or whatever. The algorithms like that, and it's going to push your stuff to more people if you fulfill those kind of requirements. And I don't put out as many videos as maybe I should, or maybe even as I could. But what I try to do is I try to create quality videos, so that it's not just about pumping out videos for the sake of pumping out videos, but it's more a case of making videos for good value. But it doesn't. But I don't necessarily get the traction from that. But I get the reward knowing that I've done a good job, rather than doing a half-assed job just for the sake of doing an extra video sort of thing.
Yeah, when you got a job and it's important. If you can't do the volume game, you got to do the quality game.
That's it.
Because YouTube can also their algorithm is extremely fine-tuned. So they can see that. So what I noticed, like, and this is my second video on TikTok was yesterday, and this is my first live stream. So I'm going to try to break into the TikTok game. But YouTube, I noticed that they really inflated followers at the beginning, and I was only doing like 1 or 2 videos a week, but I put a lot of work into making them really nice. And your advantages too. You've got a really great community with Hex. Hexicans love to support their own.
Sure.
So if you ever put something out, dude, tag me, dude. I'll reshare it, and we can just work together here, man.
Awesome. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support. But I mean, you've helped me along the way. When I first started, I posted in the Rags to Riches Telegram group and said, look, I'm looking to do this, and you pointed me in the direction of things like Carver and things like that. And then a little bit later, I was like, oh yeah, I'm still doing my thing and blah 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 blah. And you were like, right, have you got this? Have you got Twitter? Have you got Instagram? Have you got this? And all those things were really helpful, man. I genuinely appreciate it. And you were so quick to come forward with some help for someone who's never done content creation before, and it gave me a little bit of a spur on actually to get started. Just having someone going, yeah, Tone, go and get it, man, go and get it, and I appreciate that. You're a legend,
dude. Outstanding, man. You executed. That's what I like.
Yeah, sure.
I'd say nine times out of 10, people come in and they ask me about it, and I give them everything they need, but they don't execute.
Yeah.
So sometimes I'll follow up. Sometimes it takes a little pushing, but like I said, you're a little bit of a different breed because you actually went out and executed, and that's awesome, man. Keep it up, dude.
Yeah, one thing that I've actually found with TikTok is I found myself a part of this really wicked community of people, and it's not crypto related. It's just people, and I'm now part of a group of sort of like 15 to 20 people, and we all support each other. We all come into each other's lives, and we drop gifts, and we share each other's lives, and we smash the likes and stuff like that. And we're just everyone supports each other, and I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting to find myself part of a sort of little sub community on TikTok. And a few of the guys are here, in the chat, chatting away amongst themselves and stuff. And they're not interested in crypto. They could not care less about crypto, but they're here to support me. I very very much appreciate the group of people that I found on here. It's amazing, and they're all just amazing people. Every single one of them. They're just brilliant people.
Cool, man. Well,
yeah.
Well, I'm going to be on here, dude. You got to help show me the way. You got to help me navigate. I got to help navigate TikTok here. I got no clue.
Yeah, I mean the live thing is quite good to gain extra eyeballs, because people will be scrolling through. And they'll just randomly come across this random guy with a beard and glasses on talking about crypto, right, and talking about money and the broken political system that we all find ourselves a part of. You can build a following of people that, it's not even necessarily crypto related, but they like you and they like the way you come across, and they'll listen, and then they may even act on some of the things you say, like, get into crypto, maximize the opportunity in this bear market and things like that.
Is that Waynbo here in the chat? Is that you, Waynbo?
What's up,
Waynbo?
I think
Waynbo's in here. KittyCatCoin.io. Yo, what's up? Crypto Gains Club. What's up, dude? How's life, man? And then we got a couple others. Beyblade Boypog. What the real hell? Dark Goblin. What's up? What's up, guys? Nice to have everybody in here. Nice to have everybody.
Wicked. So how many people have you got in your room? It sort of tells you in the top right corner there.
Oh, not many, dude. I got like 4.
So it says 4, but the chances are there's more like 6 or 8 people in there. So people can choose an option to not appear on that list. Mm-hmm. Excuse me. So you might find that there's actually more people in the room than you originally think, because there are people.
How many
lurking.
People you got?
I've got 3 people in here.
Nice. Yeah. So yeah, some people lurking. So I've been taking a lot of my live streams. If you guys don't know that, I do try to do about 2 to 3 live streams per day, about an hour a piece. Then I have a news segment in the evenings. So
Mm-hmm.
what I'm doing, just to let you know, I'm taking those and I'm splitting them up into 1 minute to 2 minute clips. And just like 2 days ago, I started disseminating those out across TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, everywhere.
That's a
So it
good way
just
to
kind of
do that.
makes,
It's a good way to
yeah. So you
utilize
can
TikTok.
take
That.
this, yeah, man. And I use DaVinci Resolve to edit my stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just drag it, cut it up, and then render it back out. It's super simple too.
Yeah.
And you know, you get a lot of people tracking back to things. I'm very curious to see how TikTok works. Very curious.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's very algorithm based.
Yeah.
It's very much algorithm based, and what we were talking about earlier, it does, return dividends for those who are active. So like my earlier videos, like you said, the early videos get really good traction because they want you to get off to a good start.
Yeah.
And if you take your foot off the gas, then you'll notice that your viewership starts going down. There are some things you can do. You can pump it up. You can promote your videos. You can sort of set different parameters, how many days you want to advertise a particular video, what type of viewership you want, whether that will be people that will follow you, or people that will click a like, or people that will just watch your things, or whatever it might be. So you can stipulate different kind of factors, and it will then push it to, and it will sort of target out to people. And it's not a huge cost. It's not a huge cost to pump your channel a little bit.
How many followers do you have?
About 1,000 followers.
Nice, dude. Good stuff.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
I've
Well,
been around for what, maybe 3 or 4 months, something like that.
good. Good. Yeah. Well, get ready, man. Get ready for the tsunami here.
Yeah, it's coming, dude. It's coming.
It's coming. And it's always just about trying to be 1% better, dude. Every day, just do something a little bit different, a little bit better, and those little decisions add up.
Yeah, sure. Totally. Yeah, so sometimes it's hard to find the motivation to make a new video. I've got lots of ideas floating around in my head. Sometimes it's difficult to visualize how I can make that an easy to digest video. But what I like to do is take quite complex ideas and break it down into a simple way of understanding. Like hard and soft forks, I did in 2.5 minutes. I blew my own mind in how I managed to get such a well constructed video in such a short amount of recording time.
So, what's the difference between a hard and soft fork?
So a soft fork is a simple change to the code that just requires consensus to change the requirements, and a hard fork is essentially a network upgrade that results in a new blockchain. That's my understanding of it.
Yeah, that's about right.
Well, I can get down to 30 seconds now.
Yeah, dude, you got it down now, buddy.
Yeah, like I say, I spent some money. I did the Ivan on Tech course, and I paid a few $100s to do that, and that gave me a lot of additional knowledge that I didn't have previously in the technicalities of what makes a blockchain work, what makes it secure, what makes it immutable. What happens when you've got, in Bitcoin there are two separate ledgers running side by side. Which one is true, and that sort of thing. It's fascinating. I learned a lot. I learned a lot from the Ivan on Tech Academy. It was pretty cool.
So what was it? What was the purpose of the course?
So yeah, I mean, there were lots of different modules in lots of different areas. So there were, sort of like, what makes a blockchain work. So it mainly focused on Ethereum and Bitcoin as proof of work systems. It explained like how transactions are prioritized. What happens in an instance where there are multiple Bitcoin blockchains running at the same time. Which one is picked, which one is true, which one gets disregarded. There were sections about DeFi. There was a limited section on things like NFTs. It basically gave me all the knowledge that I need to just fully understand crypto and blockchain. It wasn't so much about things like price and markets and stuff like that. It was more the technicalities of what makes this shit work.
Cool. Well, yeah, and that's one thing that's going to be on my plate probably this year, next year. I've got some modules written out just about crypto in general. I'm probably going to just give those away for free, just because I think it's important for everybody to get their knowledge up and to understand what the real crypto is out there. And Richard Hart he's the most misunderstood man in cryptocurrency, and I would also say that Hex is the most misunderstood, and it's it's not misunderstood because people can't understand it. It's because they refuse to look into it.
Because they refuse to, look into it and understand it for themselves. So I think everyone that once they look into it and they understand it, they have this aha moment and they're like, oh damn, I get how this works. And then once people understand how it works, they're like, okay, how can I get into this? How can I get into this? Yes, mister. Go away. It's my child harassing me.
Hi.
Hi.
So I had a quite an interesting moment at dinner time today. So I said, "Oh, what do you want for dinner?" And he said, "I want spaghetti." So what I did was I opened up a tin of spaghetti hoops. I'm assuming you guys get that in the States.
It's probably I haven't. Is it just like little
little loops of pasta in like a tomatoey sauce kind of thing? Yeah.
We call them spaghettios.
Spaghettios. Aha, that's it. So so I did some of those, and then he was like, "No, not that sort of spaghetti, the white one." So I'd done a whole bowl of spaghetti for the kid, and it was the wrong type of spaghetti apparently.
We can't. You can't make those mistakes with inflation this high, man. What do you say?
Oh, he's just floating around my pint like a wasp.
Are you got a kid, just one kid? Are you married, or what's the deal?
Yeah, so I'm married, full-time employed, 2 kids, and yeah, building a future for myself via crypto, pretty much.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I've spent my whole life poor. And I will continue to be poor for a little while, but I'll get to a point where I no longer need to be poor, and I'm pretty certain of that.
Well, you can your bank account can be poor, but as long as this is getting rich, eventually both will catch up, and that's what you're doing right now.
That's it. So I mean, I have got my eyes on maybe creating some sort of a academy thing for people to learn the more in-depth elements of cryptocurrency, to get a better understanding of the underpinnings that makes it work, similar to the kind of courses that I did previously. But I think some of the difficulty that I had was the host was English wasn't his first language. So don't get me wrong, he was a good communicator and his English was very good. But I think that coming from a Londoner might be a little bit easier to understand than coming from a North European guy, in fairness.
Dude, I would recommend you get hot and heavy on that, because there's no competition for courses right now. Like you could take, if you did it at least at an average level and just offered something, man, that would take off.
Yeah,
I would encourage you to really look into that, man.
Well, I've already started. So I've made the first sort of like few slides, as it were, in a PowerPoint presentation, and it will be basically my ugly mug talking over the presentation that's behind me, and just going in more detail as to what I'm sort of the information that's showing up behind me, like. Yeah, I'm going to take my time. I'm not going to rush it. I've got a good idea of the content and how it's going to break down and how each module is going to work. Have some sort of quiz at the end to have a pass mark for you to then sort of show that you have an understanding of it. If you were to fail the test, the idea is to go back, rewatch the videos, come back, redo the test, and you should be able to pass it because all of the answers have already been mentioned.
Bro, everybody loves diplomas, man.
Yeah, well, it's difficult to get accreditation for that, though. It's difficult to get accreditation.
No, I mean, just like it doesn't, not an actual one, but I'm saying just give them a diploma.
Certifications. Yeah. So on LinkedIn, it allows you to actually use the certifications that I received from the Ivan on Tech Academy. So that's quite handy for people that are looking to bring someone in with crypto knowledge. My LinkedIn has got all that information on there, and it shows my knowledge via certifications of the things that I've learned and can prove that I've learned, which is kind of cool. But there's no sort of a academic body that verifies it. But on the same token, that anyone that knows the Ivan on Tech Academy will know that I've completed such modules and I have certain knowledge of certain areas. So
well, that's the neat thing. It's interesting that I've been in situations probably within the past year where I'm sitting in a room with people who paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for their education, got lawyers, and I've got accountants, and I got doctors. And out of everybody in that room, when it comes to cryptocurrency, they know nothing, and I know everything. So it's like, hey, you don't necessarily have to go to school right now. You just got to go understand how this stuff works, and it makes you extremely valuable because nobody else does understand how it works.
Yeah.
So even if it's a simple, certification from Ivan on tech, that means that you know more than a doctor, you know more than a lawyer, you just know a whole lot more than they do.
Yeah,
and
sure.
That's the world that we're living in now. There's like universities. The importance of university continues to be diluted over time because of tools like YouTube,
Yeah, sure.
or any learning. Yeah.
Actually, one of the things I want to mention actually is something I kind of forgot about when you were asking me, like, what sort of stuff does it teach? It actually teaches some coding as well. How to create a cryptocurrency from scratch. How to build a rudimentary website in HTML. How to essentially take a smart contract and be able to read and understand the different elements that are written into that smart contract to the point where you can take a smart contract and get a gist of what the contract's trying to achieve. I found that bit quite useful. I did think about maybe going deeper into the coding thing, but it's just a bit of a brain melter for me. It was a little bit too tricky for me to get a grip to it. And I understand the logic, but the language was the thing that I had the issue with.
Well, here would be my recommendation to you. The only reason it seems intimidating to you is because you think you have to learn it in a certain amount of time. You have as much time as you need to learn it. So just start picking it apart. Yeah. And eventually you're going to get to the point where you got it. So it's very important to stay connected to the material, to stay learning every single day, just a little bit more, because you're putting,
like you say, 1% every day, right?
Ahead. Every day a little bit, man. So So when you books or courses or anything, eventually it just makes sense. Like I remember when I was charged with the task of making a video on liquidity pools and decentralized exchanges and AMMs, and I'm just sitting there on my computer screen with my jaw dropped. I'm like, oh my gosh. But over time, you just keep reading it, learning it, hearing it, reading it, learning it, hearing it, and then it sticks.
So I understand how AMMs work and the different elements that are involved, but I don't understand the mathematics of the AMM. So how much money needs to be injected into one side to affect the price in this way. That's the thing that I didn't really get into. But I understand AMMs. I understand the liquidity pools and how those liquidity pools have value. Not really 100% on how you can farm those liquidity pools. That's something that's a little bit uncertain for me. It just seems like a token that is infinitely inflatable. So I don't really fully understand that. But I've got good grip of economics. I've got good understanding of economics.
It all boils down X times Y equals K. Yeah, that's what it boils down to. K is the constant. If you have two coins, you're going to tie them together in a pool, and the value of that pool has to be constant. So why is that important? Well, if you change X, then Y has to change. If you change Y, X has to change. K will always stay the same.
It will stay the same.
Yeah, essentially that. And then we don't have like 5 or 10 or 15 people that have $50 million a piece that can come together and create a centralized bank in our community. This is online. This is digital. So we have to be able to incentivize people to be able to provide liquidity. Well, what's the issue? Why do we give people a separate token, like on Uniswap, for example? Why do we do that? It's because as one pair, for example, sells off, the other pair is going to pump, or vice versa.
And you've got that impermanent loss thing.
Yeah, you get the impermanent loss. So you have to have some type of token that's going to hopefully offset that impermanent loss and incentivize people to provide the liquidity in your bank. And that's your community bank. That's what it is.
But I don't see where the value of the token comes from, because you're constantly inflating the supply, and as a result, people are consistently selling. So it's not a token you want to hold. It's probably a token you want to get and just sell instantly for something stable, like $1 or something, or a project you're interested in. An ERC20 that you might be interested in buying or something like that. But yeah. I haven't looked too much into AMMs. I haven't looked too much.
Well, you got to. So that's what's interesting, though. You think that it might be. You think that it's not as valuable because it inflates constantly. But on the flip side of the token, not everybody participates in this farming. And the other thing you got to understand too is they're using that incentive token to also provide liquidity, right? So there's another value proposition there. They might pair that liquidity token with another token, and you're helping farm that too. So there is value because not many people are participating in that ecosystem.
Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. And so it's just a beautiful, brilliant thing what has happened with decentralized finance and decentralized exchanges. For the first time in history, we've been able to have everybody participate in the community bank rather than just one or two people who have really big bankrolls.
Yeah.
They end up controlling everything.
Yeah.
It's very different now.
That's the freedom. That's why I love this crypto that I'm into. Yeah, that's why I love this whole universe that I found myself jumping in headfirst into. And I'm glad I have, because I have done quite well out of crypto. I did spend some of the gains that I made in the previous run, and then when I realized the top was in, I closed up the wallet and then waited for the market to come down. And now I'm sort of in buying mode. I'm now starting to buy back in a little bit as well. But that's experience. That's just experience of going through a few cycles and just using that experience to my benefit to try and get the best out of it. The opportunity, it's a massive opportunity in crypto, and we are nowhere near done yet. We're still so early, so early.
Yeah, and you hear everybody say that, but it's like when you see the amount of human capital that's pouring in now, when you see the amount of institutional capitals, nation states getting involved, when you see DeFi growing the way that it's now, DeFi is growing and it's failing, and then it's growing again and then it's failing, but that's all part of the process.
Yeah.
So
it weeds out those weaker ideas. The things like the Luna, things like Cello that's looking like it might go down the same way, and I'm a little bit worried about Solana. I think Solana might be the next victim.
Solana's a train wreck, man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like the fact that Solana's had so much downtime with their network. That doesn't sit well with me.
What did you see the vote that they had?
Yeah,
to liquidate that whale.
Now I understand the principle there of making it an over-the-counter purchase rather than just dumping on the market, because that allows you to hold the price up, and I can understand why you would want to do that to protect it. But I mean, either way, that person's going to get liquidated either way when it reaches a certain price point. So how it gets liquidated, I don't think is that big of a problem. But I think that's also this whole decentralized autonomous organization, these DAOs, that's kind of where these DAOs come in, is to be able to make those kind of decisions as a community. If the community decide to make that decision, then that's a community decision. But on the flip side, you've got to then ask the question, is that someone's liberty being tread on here? They don't have a say in the matter because they don't have enough voting power.
Well, when you say the word community, but here's the issue. The people who get to vote, it's dependent upon the size of their bag, right? The amount of votes that they receive. So that's the issue. Now, and you look at this, you can kind of look at DAOs like you would look at bureaucracy and government. Your government can be very centralized and benevolent for 95 years, but then somebody takes power after 10 people have taken power before them. Somebody takes power in 5 years, they can destroy the whole system. They can screw everything over. And if you have a rule like that you can go in and swoop in and liquidate a whale, what's the whole point of this exercise?
Well, I don't think that the vote was necessarily to liquidate someone. It was more a case of what will be the process when that person is liquidated. Because if that person is liquidated in the open market, it will cause the currency to collapse and potentially cause the whole marketplace to collapse within Solana. But having it as an OTC option, there's no difference to the liquidation. It's just what happens with that liquidation. And I can kind of understand the method and the thinking behind why you'd want to do it a particular way to protect the ecosystem for everybody else. Why should one person have, so much control over the network, as it were? Because essentially the guy has got control because he's got that large position that's about to be liquidated.
Yeah, so I looked at it yesterday, and the vote was it was a two-part thing. The first was, hey, we need to put in some sort of stipulation that says in instances like this in the future, we're going to be able to take control of the situation, right? But then the second part of that was also, we are going to take action to liquidate this guy. And they even went into detail to say that we have tried on multiple occasions to reach out to this person. They haven't talked to us. So now we're going to take action. Now, from what I understand, the first vote was 97.5% in favor. 97.5%. But then the second vote came in. Some of the people in my community said they decided not to do it. So the whole point here is, I understand completely, but it's just like, if a bank makes a really, really bad decision, is it the responsibility of the government to bail out the bank?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think it is. I think the market is going to correct itself naturally. And sure. I think that when we go in and choose winners and losers, that's when things get really icky.
Yeah, you're right there. When you, like you say, when you start picking winners and losers, it does get icky. Yeah, I totally get that. I totally get that.
Yeah, man. Well, listen, dude, I got to run, man. But we've been going at about an hour, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. I've really enjoyed it. It's been great. Yeah.
Invite me back, dude. If I can get on, I will. If I got a time slot, let me know in advance. I'd love to chat, dude.
Yeah, sure. So, anyone on my side, go follow Rags to Riches. He's also got a wicked YouTube channel, and he's also got an amazing Telegram group as well. So follow this guy. He's amazing. His content's wicked. Outstanding guy. I posted in the Telegram about 20 minutes before I was about to go live because someone let me down, and Brandon held his hand up and was like, "Bro, I'm there. So what do I do? What do I do?" So I appreciate that, man. You're amazing.
Yeah, man, shout out to Godfather J6. He's in our community too.
Yeah, I see him dropping in. Cheers, dude.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, dude. I just pressed the off button up here or what?
Yeah. So if I was to leave first, it would just be you talking full screen to your guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's as simple as that. You'd have to power it off yourself. Another thing that's quite useful with your lives is TikTok will save your lives for 90 days, so you can then go ahead and download those and then repost them onto different things like YouTube, etc. You will be limited to the mobile format, which kind of sucks. You lose the chat and you lose some of the UI gifting animations and stuff like that. So it is literally just a screen record of everything behind the text. But it can be quite useful if you wanted to re-upload somewhere else. So like when we're like this and there's two of us side by side, it will be wider and longer. When it's just yourself, it's skinny and long. But it keeps it for 90 days, so you can go ahead and download it and re-upload wherever, which is quite useful.
Perfect.
It takes about 2 or 3 hours for it to be available because they have to render it and stuff on their end. But it will stay for 90 days, so you can pull that down and upload that. Just while I got you here, is it okay if I was to download this and upload to YouTube? Is that cool with you?
Do what you got to do, man. Yeah, awesome. Anything you want to do, man.
Yeah, cool. I always ask because I want to make sure I don't want to tread on anyone's toes and stuff.
Nah, dude, we're all in this together. It's all good.
So I'm growing this out for Pulse Chain launch. So I may look like an old man, but we'll see how it goes. And I will be doing the shaving video, and I hope you'll do the same.
I will. I'm gonna do it, buddy.
Yeah, straight up on TikTok. I'll be tagging you in. Looking forward to it. Yeah, cheers, dude. I really appreciate you coming in. That's wicked.
You're welcome, man. Tell your family I said hello.
Cheers, dude. Take care.
All right, bye.